M. Night Shyamalan, the living embodiment of the phrase, it's either hit or miss, has made a new film. Let's talk about that. So Knock at the Cabin, like I said, it's a new M. Night Shyamalan film. There's this couple, they're staying at this cabin with their daughter, and then 4 people who apparently watched way too much Blues Brothers were like,
we're on a mission from God.
So they give this family this ultimatum. One of you needs to die, or else the apocalypse is gonna happen. That's it. It's very simple. That's what I like about a good Shyamalan film. A character-based film, simple, keep it in the pocket, just have it thrive off of tension and intrigue, and here we go. Now, Dave Bautista is the biggest star in the film, so I'm gonna go ahead and start out with him. Also, he's the leader of these 4 folks. I mean, obviously, just look at him like, who's the leader? I'm gonna go ahead and say Alpha Bautista right there. Was anyone gonna challenge him? Anyone gonna wanna fight him for leadership? No, it's not gonna happen. I thought everyone in the film did a great job, but Bautista continues to impress me. Dude was a movie star after Guardians of the Galaxy, no doubt, but it was Blade Runner 2049 where I was like, that's not just a movie star. He's an actor. He could have rested on the laurels of that fuck you Guardians of the Galaxy money, but he didn't. He was like, I want to expand, refine my craft, be an artist. I love that. I respect him for that. And this is one of the more relevant, timely films in terms of social constructs of today that Shyamalan's made. Part of the intrigue is whether or not you're dealing with a situation that has to do with thought bubbles and people online who have the same mindset. Maybe they see the same things, and maybe those things aren't real, but to them it's very real, and this movie wrestles with that. I actually really appreciate that. The film had some great tension and intrigue. You're like, are these folks maniacs? Are they crazy? Are they right? That's when the film's at its best, is when the audience is wrestling with this. You're given enough information to be like, could be true, could be bullshit. However, subtlety being an art form in a world where Shyamalan had subtlety sprinkled all throughout The Sixth Sense, yeah, he might have lost the art of that craft, sometimes to the film's detriment. Problem with this movie is you have enough information to go either way. There are these little nuances that you catch in here, details that are supposed to be vague details the audience is supposed to pick up on and wrestle with the situation. Then the characters, in talking with themselves, break down the details that's supposed to be there for the audience to catch. One small example of this I'm just gonna give you, it's not a spoiler at all, it's just an assessment that some might have made from the trailers. These 4 folks are like, hey, we need to do this thing or the apocalypse is gonna happen. There are 4 of them. A cool thing to glean from the audience is like, oh, there are 4 of them. Kind of like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. That's a cool detail. Then at a point in the movie, one of them says there are 4 of them. It's like they're the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's just one example to illustrate a thing that happens throughout the film. It's like the fear is the audience won't ever get it. It's not that they won't, it's all a matter of when. And again, sometimes you want the audience to grab everything right then and there, even if that means a character tells the audience exactly what they're supposed to notice at any given time. But it's a lot more fun if the audience doesn't get it. Maybe a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, they're talking with their friends bring up a detail, or maybe they watch YouTube videos breaking down the details, and they're like, oh, I didn't catch that. Oh, that's awesome. I feel like explaining things, breaking things down in crayon for the audience takes an experience from would-be chess to checkers. I still enjoy checkers, it's just fundamentally different than chess. And I could have gone for a more ambiguous film, maybe a nuanced ending. By the end of this film, you have the answer as to whether or not these folks are saving the world from the apocalypse, or they're just batshit. Open endings, or endings open to interpretation. It's true, they used to drive me nuts, but I'm at the grumpy old man energy phase in my life where my brain has realized that that's kind of how life works. So my brain has learned to enjoy that thing which used to cause it pain. Storytelling Stockholm Syndrome. Maybe, but it is what it is. Like, in the end, I enjoyed Knock at the Cabin. I know, I feel like I prattled on more about the thing that bothered me in the film rather than the things I enjoyed. Don't mean for that to be the case, just as it is, I feel like negatives require more of an elaboration than positives. This movie did what it needed to do. It had a mystery, some solid tension. You don't want this family to go through this choice that they might not even have to do. And this movie has a couple, we'll say, logic leaps, like logic blind spots that characters would bring up. Granted, most any film has moments like that. If they didn't, how it should have ended as a YouTube channel just wouldn't exist. But it is really frustrating as an audience member when you spot it immediately and you're like, why is nobody in this cabin bringing this up? Then you feel overqualified, like you could just talk your way out of the situation among a cabin full of crazies. Like, I could do that. Knowing that you'd be tied up all scared shitless yourself, but still, point remains. I do feel like there is some how it should have ended low-hanging fruit in this film. You know you better than I know you, as I say, so my job here is to just inform you of that. If that's going to bother you to the point of not having fun, it's probably not your cup of tea. If you can look past, you can probably have yourself a good time. That is to say a good time. No alcohol required. For better or for worse, this is a Shyamalan film. I feel like this film leans harder into the better than the worse. All right, so A Knock at the Cabin. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below. Let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more. I called it A Knock at the Cabin. It's just Knock at the Cabin. There's no A. Whatever, I'm keeping it.